Mario and his pals have dominated the kart racing scene for as long as we can remember, and while other games have tried to duplicate its magic by mimicking the formula in its simplest form, very few have managed to offer something different. Beach Buggy Racing on Xbox One lies somewhere in the middle, and for a developer that primarily focuses on mobile games, that's in no way a bad thing. Beach Buggy Racing is Vector Unit's second mobile-to-console port on Xbox One, following the Hydrojet racer Riptide GP2, which I never actually played. While some games fail in their transition over from the mobile platform, this one is actually pretty solid. The graphics aren't gag-inducing and provide a decent upscale in the Xbox One, and while the once touch-based controls can feel a bit floaty at times, it only took a few races to get acclimated. Vector Unit's kart racer offers a ton of upgrades and racers to unlock through its somewhat punishing career mode and daily challenges. There's skeletal pirates, creepy dudes in bunny suits, and Mexican luchadors to play with, and each racer has their own unique power-up that can be used once per race, like using a UFO to switch places with the person in front of you, or becoming a ghost to speed through nearby racers untouched. I enjoyed playing around with each of the characters and felt their own respective power-ups were a neat feature that helped the game stand apart from other kart racers. There's a pleasant variety within the dozen tracks that are available as well, and if Mario Kart taught us anything, it's that track design is extremely important. There's usually where the other guys fail, and while Beach Buggy Racing does offer an all-too-familiar track selection, like volcanoes, forests, snowy locales, they're all relatively well-designed and had me cursing my opponents all the way to the finish line. Speaking of which, the AI-controlled opponents are relentless and will take any chance they can to make your life miserable. Basically, they controlled as well as any real-life player, trolling me at the finish line with the game's answer to Mario's blue shell, the Death Bat. But Beach Buggy Racing ramps up the difficulty in the early goings and it never lets up. I would rarely stay in first place for more than 5 seconds before a power-up came crashing into my bumper, and this was commonplace whenever I moved into the top spot. With the AI rarely making mistakes and the sheer randomness of the power-ups, it became even more frustrating when playing catch-up. I also wish the RNG of the game made sense, rather than receiving pointless power-ups at inopportune times. In last place, I'd often receive items that needed to be dropped behind me or shield me from damage, while in first place, I rarely got anything that helped me hold my position, like oil slicks or trick boxes. Every time I lost my position from another death bat, it felt like the game was saying "trollolol" as I picked up an oil slick and then watched my opponent skyrocket ahead of me. I also wish I had the option to throw projectiles behind me so I didn't have to waste them in first place just to fish around for something more practical. I feel like I should be praising this type of AI in a competitive racer as the competition is so fierce, but it often felt more like luck than skill if I could finish in the top 3. These are the types of people who would cut you off in a drive-thru or swoop in and steal your parking spot at the supermarket. I could just be god-awful, and that's entirely possible, but by the 4th Career Cup, every other word out of my mouth was a curse word and my heart sank whenever I heard the approaching howl of yet another death bat. Online play is a feature that could greatly extend the game's lifespan, but it's completely absent on the Xbox One. It supports up to 6 players with local split-screen play, but you can only race against each other, not the AI. With only 2 players, races frequently became lonely affairs, as we rarely see each other when one of us made a mistake. Adding an AI-controlled opponent would have made split-screen far more interesting, especially when you don't have 5 other people to play with. The game runs flawlessly in split screen, which is awesome, but without the ability to play online or against the AI alongside your friends, I'm pretty sure many of you won't be playing longer than a few days unless you have local competition at your disposal. I do not. This turned Beach Buggy Racing from a should-buy title to something I'd only recommend if you have extra controllers lying around and just want to kill a weekend with a case of beer and some friends. Overall, Beach Buggy Racing really isn't a bad game. I was pleasantly surprised when it exceeded my initial expectations of being a generic kart racer with a hokey name, although it's still only above average. I obviously found flaws like the frustratingly problematic AI, the lack of an online component, and its ear-grating loop of generic surfer rock music. But thanks to the variety of racers, tracks, and fun power-ups, it's a good arcadey racer that stays true to the Mario Kart formula without living too far under its shadow. With that in mind, we're giving Beach Buggy Racing a 6.5 out of 10.